what about him is appealing to you, Joshua Paladino?
Just the chunk. Look at the eyes. They're like just a quarter of the way open. It's got
like
no
tired
care.
animals?
Yeah.
Okay. He's tired
No
animal.
cares in the world.
We got Josh looking up. Paladino could not think of a certain thing that's adjacent to a sea lion.
No, it's like a cousin. I don't know. Maybe they're not cousins. Maybe they're just
Josh,
friends.
were you looking up the name of the actual sea lion?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Is there a name?
No, but he is a Hawaiian monk seal.
A Hawaiian monk seal.
So that's a species.
Okay.
No, it's a one. It just has a totally different name. Very, very weird. So.
What did we want to? Do we want to name this seal though? I was thinking Jeremy's fine.
Oh, come on, dude.
Come on, Jerry the seal.
That's pretty weak.
So what did you signed for the house today?
I did.
Yes,
I did. Yes.
Shad is now an additional homeowner. We have a
additional homeowner.
Well,
as in I own additional homes? No.
No.
I am not a landlord nor a slumlord.
We've got 3 homeowners on the mics today, right?
Yes.
In the same vicinity.
Wow.
Which means that we probably have more what you could consider wealth. You know, I'm not saying just money around, but more wealth than 90% of people our age.
Oh, no, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
What percentage of 25-years-olds own a home?
Can you look this up, Jamie?
25% year olds who own a home.
And white males, nonetheless. I mean, they must be at the bottom of the list.
Hey, I'm sorry. I have to... Poor Lucy. She'll sit down here just for a second.
Yeah, we have... The dog is going to be in the shop the entire time, so...
So you're on Glendale now.
I'm on Glendale.
Which is one of my favorite roads in Hillsdale. Terrible road.
Yeah.
But
they're surveying it.
Oh, they are?
It's part of the communities that all voted for, like, the tax increase. So.
Oh, it's the special assessment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know they're paving Westwood. I don't like the special assessment stuff because what is a through road, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for Charles Street, but no one goes down Charles Street.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. Nobody goes down Charles
Nobody,
Street.
literally. So, but I don't, and you guys gotta, I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys gotta pay more.
Well, the big problem is going to be just, like, they're going to rip the street up for two years, basically, right? But it's then that and Highland both are going to get renovated. But Highland needs it worse.
It does, yeah.
Highland's a rough street.
I love how old the trees are and overgrown. It is one of the quietest streets in Hillsdale.
No, it's nice.
It's really good.
And I don't know, man. It's cool to be a part of, like, you know, I know people in that neighborhood.
Yeah, the Regans, right?
Yeah. You know, there's some professors who live there.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to be a cool zone.
It's going to be some good small town vibes going.
Yeah. Plus, we got a backyard. It's got a fire pit. So,
hey,
you guys want to go somewhere to grill?
Turkeys go back through there. So you got your bow.
Gotta take a turkey out, dude.
I didn't know turkeys rolled through that area.
That's their stomping yard. Okay, because there's that nature preserve.
Yes.
Get a little closer to the mic if you can.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
there's
across
that.
The way.
Which is great. You have both Cold Spring Park
and
the nature preserve right there. I mean, nature is literally in your backyard.
There you go. Yeah. Well, hey, if you ever take it out a turkey, I'll help you pluck it. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
If we want to cook one.
Does anybody here know how to pluck a turkey?
Okay, so I did it with Morgan Morrison in November for Thanksgiving, and we had the whole system.
Yeah. You boil it first,
you literally boil the turkey.
Yeah.
And that boy's swirling, and then you take all of it de-feathers him. It's very shameful. I'm glad he's dead at that point.
Yeah, no.
That's like boiling crabs and lobsters.
Yeah.
Except for you got to do that alive, right?
Yeah.
The thing is about crabs and lobsters, you know, if there's they can't feel pain.
Okay, so here's a funny thing.
Yeah. You know that's about aquatic life.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
so crabs and lobsters might be different.
Yeah.
Fish for sure cannot feel pain.
All right. So you're saying that.
Yeah.
I recently saw a post somewhere. I think it might have been PETA or something.
I mean, of
that
course.
Was like
big fish is going to tell you that fish feel pain.
Yeah. No, big fish is going to tell us that they don't feel pain.
No.
In order to make it easier for them to justify catching all these fish and killing them the way they do. Right. It's the thought process.
Yeah.
So I don't know. First off, Josh, how many people at the age 25 own a home?
Okay. Ages 18 to 24, 13%.
Okay.
Ages 25 to 34, only 37%.
37, 25 to
34 years old.
That is absolutely brutal.
And that number's
That is
dropping.
tough. Yeah.
That number is rapidly dropping.
Yeah.
I assume that for especially our age bracket. I mean, buying a home in Hillsdale already was insanely difficult.
Yeah, I don't...
having to compete with that.
Yeah, I mean,
all that stuff.
Speak on it from a global perspective, or I guess a national.
Dude's got a global perspective.
We've got a globe in this here dome of mine. From a national perspective, a lot of the small towns, right, that used to have cheaper real estate, right, that was more. What's the word I'm looking for? It was, market forces kept it to the value that people there could buy.
Yeah.
after COVID and everything that happened with that, so many outside sources and real estate developers and people who want to flip are coming into these small towns and buying up these places.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before, but the new move where people, so we have friends from New York that have come here all over. They bring those New York paying jobs. So they come in with $120,000 salary and they're like, well, we could buy 4 homes right now. Because they sell their 1,200 square foot apartment for $800,000. So then it drives up the prices for everyone who actually lives and works in Hillsdale. It's going to be a serious problem in the future.
I mean, it's just going to be more, landlords sort of ruling a lot of the towns.
Can you adjust my gains, the one at the top there?
Which one are you, the left or the right?
Yeah, the left.
Yeah, we should probably discuss the morality of renting at some point.
Right.
Oh, speaking of renting, I was talking to your landlord yesterday. We were getting drinks.
My landlord?
Your landlord.
Yeah, great guy. I like.
No, he's a really good guy.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah.
So I was going around with this petition for city council. I got to get 25.
Aspiring
politician. Yeah.
Joshua
City
Paladino.
councilman.
Yes.
I got to get 25 to 50 signatures,
Yeah.
right, to qualify for the ballot. And so I was chatting with him, and he was like, oh, you know what? I got some landlords. They live on Berry Street. They'd be happy to sign for you. They're really nice people. And I said, oh, my gosh, yeah, the Strahles. I'll definitely stop by there and see if they'll sign for it. Yeah, some tenants.
I thought you said the landlords.
Sorry. I got some landlords. I'm like, I'm not a landlord. He mentioned me as people who would sign the petition.
He mentioned you. And the woman, I guess, that lives above you or below you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said, oh, yeah, the Strahles. I'll definitely stop by and get that. I know them. And he said, no. Different house. I was like, oh, okay, which house on Berry Street?
Yeah.
So we just went through every house on Berry Street, literally starting from Broad. And we just worked our way west to the end of Berry. We got back to the west end of Berry, and I said, no, it is that blue house.
Yeah.
And he said, no. My tenants are the Strells. And I said, the Strahles.
Oh, man.
That's my boy.
Oh, that's
awesome.
That is just indicative of our whole lives, right?
The Strells.
Yeah, we got some really nice people. I love them. They're great. The Strells.
That's a great story. Yeah. We put an offer in on this house on Howell. And for people who aren't Hillsdaleans, I don't know. I mean, it's just a street.
Oh, no. This is the street in Hillsdale.
It's a great street.
This is a city councilman. Future city councilman right here.
We got lamp lights at 7 p.m. You can walk freely.
That's true. The lamp lights are nice.
They're so
nice. So it's a lot of really old, like early century homes, early 19th or early 20th century homes. A lot of wraparound porches, that sort of thing. But we went and we looked at this one place, absolute beat up. Super cheap, but really big, great porch, needed new floors, new walls, new, everything basically. The foundation wasn't shot, which is good. But we walked through like, you know what? This is something that we're going to put a lot of work into. This is what we want to do. We want to do this. We want to put a ton of work into this. Yeah. So we put an offer in on it. And someone from out of town came in, dropped tons of cash.
Yeah. Paid in cash.
Waived inspection. Bought it, and it's going to look like the best of Magnolia Magazine, HGTV, in 6 months. You know what I mean? They're going to rip everything out. It's going to be, white trim,
barn doors,
gray gray paint on the walls.
That gray white linoleum.
Dude, it's everything.
And then they sell it for $160.
Yeah.
And then they flip it for a ton of money because then it's turnkey. Yeah. Right? And so that's why you can waive inspection because it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah. They're going to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the foundation isn't shot, they're going to make their money back.
Which is wild. And it's what's really especially annoying about it is that the place was like weird. Like the back. So, it for folks who aren't homeowners, there are a lot of
lesser individuals.
Yeah, lesser individuals. There are a lot of city ordinances that prevent you from building things really close to your property line, right?
Right. Yeah.
So to prevent you from building something that's an eyesore or something that's right next to your neighbors so they're annoyed by it or whatnot. But sometimes, those ordinances or those lines are drawn later down the line. So there was this huge, like, Amish barn in the backyard in what is a lot.
Yeah.
Like, as in a lot of land. Like, this is not a real backyard.
Like a tenth of an acre.
It's a tenth of an acre, and there's just a whole ass barn just in the backyard. And the thing is that it hasn't been repaired for probably 30, 40 years. So it looks like it's going to topple over, right? But we were sitting there thinking, I don't know. get 25 Amish guys, pay them $25. You know? You say, hey, you guys got to split this, all right? They're like, okay, I guess so. You know, they come in, raise it, you know, fix it up, get it all looking nice, and they can't...
Ezekiel, pass the hammer over here.
yeah, that's exactly how Amish people talk. You know, you get that all set up, and it's like, now the neighbor can't complain because, you know, that was grandfathered in the ordinance.
25. So technology stopped for them in what, 1780? Did the value of the dollar stop as well? You give them a 25 spot, they take it back home and they say, is this a dowry for all of my children? What is this?
I could retire off of this.
Yeah, 6 acres
Dude,
and 2 goats.
Have you guys ever been to Shipshewana? Have you ever been to Shipshewana? It's down in Indy.
No.
Oh, this is the big market.
For those that are not of the Midwest area, you know, Amish are not only like a facet of life, but they are sort of a cultural attraction, is how I would describe them. Or at least they bill themselves as
that's
in
brutal.
some places.
We have literally created Amish people into consumer objects.
I know, yeah. Well, either that or they did it themselves. Because let me tell you, Shipshewana, the richest people in the whole area, all Amish. You drive down there, on the side of the road, you know, all these barns, enormous pieces of land, enormous barns, like lots and lots full of cattle just hanging out. You know, logistically, that is crazy, especially with a lack of technology, but they make it work.
Yeah.
And it all came from one family who set up like that one of those chicken dinner places, right? And then slowly but surely bought all this land, built a theater so they can bring in acts to come and perform. Yeah. You know, it just grows into its own tourist attraction. I was about to say terrace attraction.
But part of how they're able to operate that, though, is that they get around their religious stipulations. Yeah, right.
They've got
you like hire
somebody. Yeah,
you
got middle in between
Gentiles or whatever they call them. Yeah. You know, you hire them to come in. Goyim. You hire them to come in and they just do all your work for you. Yeah. Right. Or like, you know, I was listening to this radio show and the guy was talking about how the worst neighbors in the world are the Amish because a guy will show up and say, hey, you mind if I plug this extension cord into your power? You know, you'll hear him use a power tool. Yeah. You know, as long as he's not owning and paying for the power, he can use your power. So I don't know, man. It's that's part of how they're able to like build that kind of empire. But you know, the weird thing about the number one weird thing about living in the Midwest, and if you know everybody around who's been on the Indiana Turnpike like a million times, right? On that road, if you stop at any of the rest stops, you know, like state rep stops.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the worst.
They're the worst. They're the worst.
Burger King, Sparrow, and Starbucks. Yeah. Are you trying to starve me to death?
Yeah. Come on, dude. Sbarro is definitely real.
Is that how you say it? Sbarro?
I think it's Sbarro.
I'm not going to do that.
Sparrow.
Sparrow.
I thought you said sparrow.
I thought it was just named after the bird.
Yeah. That's how it's, you know, you're Italian, you know. That's how they say it.
Don't question it.
Yeah. But all of these places, and like even the small ones too that aren't government owned, will have in their in the gas station portions, in the kiosks, they'll have books.
Yes.
Right?
Ah, yes, I know where you're going with this.
The Amish erotic romance novel is
no.
Oh, it's just nothing
everywhere.
but that.
All of it, dude.
All of the rest stops just have 25 things like, you know, love with Ezekiel, or like, you know,
and they've got some guy with the hat, the beard, you know, with
like you can't see his eyes, and he's like holding some sort of you know woman in a dress, and it's like, you know, and
they don't write this. Someone is exploiting.
No, somebody's exploiting.
Please tell me. Exploiting.
It's like middle to upper middle-aged white women who are just writing these books, right? Mm-hmm. But it'll be like Jebediah, you know, Clarice never thought that she would ever find love again after her husband died, but an eligible widower named Jebediah has moved in next door, you know, and it's just that. But there's 50 or 60 of them, just all on the shelves.
Dozens of these. Yeah, I can't even.
Okay, I'll have to.
I'm just about this.
What stops did you say next to the Sbarro? You're sitting there just eating your pizza that comes in this triangle box and just reading about, you know, the word heaving is used. You're sitting there, you know.
Use like the pizza box to
use the pizza box to cool yourself off. You're like, my.
But no, I think you're hitting on a very important point, which is sort of this strange commoditization, right? And also like, you know, nobody's getting consent from these people to sort of use their culture in this sense,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, cultural appropriation in our own area. Yes. 99% white, but we're appropriating all day.
Yeah. I think it's less cultural appropriation and more like the forces, economic forces of capital, kind of
Right.
forcing people to commodify their own culture.
Yeah,
Like you can say the same thing about American Indian reservations and like Native American casino culture.
Yeah.
Right.
That's part of the argument. I've been reading Alexander Dugin. I think we were talking about it. This one of Vladimir Putin's advisors on geopolitics, and that's what he says. It's not that we're necessarily opposed to capitalism. You could have it, and we could just leave you alone. Except that it's a whirlpool that sucks in everything.
Yeah.
So you can't maintain an independent culture outside of it, which is. With the Amish, you see that everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
because they can't survive. I mean, they're supposed to be self-sustaining,
right?
But like logistically, at the end of the day, they're still coming into town into the Kroger to buy vegetables, right? Like that's still happening, even if you're not sort of tied into and like you're making your money off of capitalism. They're still sort of at the teat.
I wonder what it feels like to be one of those like moms with like the 6 toothy children, who like roll up to Kroger. And going and just picking up Amish potato salad and just filling your cart with nothing but Amish potato salad.
Yeah, I was at I guess that walk-in clinic or maybe the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And this Amish woman comes in and she's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's got a baby and she's got like a 2-year-old with her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
mad respect, of course. Straight out the gate.
Yeah.
The whole time they're in, they have some sort of illness. They're all coughing, hacking. She's just feeding them McDonald's French fries.
Yeah.
I don't even eat McDonald's. Am I Amish now? Sometimes you just
You're more Amish to the Amish.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of that, did you know that they're really into chiropractic?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they really like to. I mean, I guess this comes across as a what's the word? Shoot, like I'm making assumptions about all Amish people, but that's something that I've witnessed myself.
I see them every time I go into Walton or Hillsdale Family. I see an Amish person there.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of respect that because I treat my chiropractor as my primary care doctor,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't actually go see the doctor unless I'm dying.
And that's just an economic decision.
Yeah,
probably.
Right. Right. $35 for that visit. And you get a nice. That's
Boom.
great. Yeah, I was having this. Oh, before we go on to the chiropractic.
Yeah.
Speaking of your landlord,
Yeah.
did you know this? His property, I think 4 years ago, won Michigan Barn of the Year.
Oh, I've seen the barn.
It's a great
It's
barn.
a great barn.
It's a great barn. No, so I was.
This is a small town Midwest episode.
Right.
Yeah.
But he said now the foundation is crumbling, and I'm wondering if that's Amish work.
Do you
or who
mean the
did that.
foundation that decides what the best barn is, or like that organization
The barn
or the barn?
committee is
Yeah.
going down. Yeah,
Dude, too much
unfortunately.
politics, dude. Well, boys and girls, we had a little bit of a technical malfunction there. Thankfully, we thought we lost all of it.
Yeah.
We thought we lost all this juicy content about small town Michigan and Amish people, but we're good. Steve Jobs saved the day.
Yeah.
But
Autosave.
I think we were in the middle of a conversation when we cut out
Oh,
Lost Mary.
that's right.
Yes, and small town band.
The album's coming soon.
Yes,
I can say that much.
If you haven't listened to their music, you should look it up.
Lost Mary.
They're
They're really good.
Local outfit.
Yeah.
Great people.
Great
yeah,
people.
I'm really excited for the album.
Buy their album, and you're actually being very charitable to a man in need.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
A man
That's
who has
true.
long suffered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't.
For full disclosure, I do work for the company that is their publisher, so I am a Hot Salad Records official employee. So
Are you really?
I
As of
am,
recently,
as of recently.
You
So-
freelancing for him?
yeah, no, well, I mean, like, I work for the actual company as a actual employee, so I do work for them.
You have a
but
job?
I have. Well, I mean, it's not my main job.
He's not making 6 figures.
I'm not
off
making
of it,
6
yeah.
figures off of
Okay.
that.
But you're
Lost Mary
technically on
record
the
sales.
board of directors, right?
I am the director of
Whoa.
Hot Salad Records.
Where's this out of?
Hey, come
Just out of Joel's house.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're not talking, you're not like Sony or anything. You're not-
No.
Okay.
Closer to like Sub Pop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke.
Yeah.
Nowhere near
No,
Sub
yeah,
Pop.
we have no idea.
Yes,
what
I can say
you're
though
talking about.
from a place of knowledge that the album's coming very soon. So
I'm very excited. I don't think I've listened to any album more than Lost Mary.
wow,
Just
that's great.
Always in my car
See,
for
well,
years.
if
Very
Luke is
good
listening now.
political answer.
Yeah.
As a budding
Yeah,
councilman.
Yeah.
You want to get in with the artsy crowd?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
very
yeah.
politically
These are
active.
the real tastemakers.
That's right.
That's true. Luke listens to the show, so I'm sure he'll really
Oh, does he?
appreciate
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey Spartacus.
Hey, boy.
Um, So were we talking about chiropractic?
I thought I had to circle back.
I thought I had a story about this.
We do have to eventually bring up whatever your whale is. But...
This is actually somewhat related to it.
Okay.
But we were having the debate last night with some friends.
Yeah.
Whether in an ideal state, if you're taking perfect care of your body, like you're working hard, you're eating well, should you need chiropractic? That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Chiropractic.
Well, so it's tough because I think a lot of people would say you don't need it at all, right? Because there's a lot of people that disagree with it.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, get out of here.
In the ideal state, we would not include people who don't believe in chiropractic.
Yeah. No, I mean, I went to the chiropractor for a time because I had a really bad back from work for a short period. And yeah, I mean, it really helped over that period of time. I didn't consistently go after a while. It just sort of like ended up fixing.
So here's my problem.
Issues in the long term.
I think chiropractors are like warlocks, where they have
like
magic.
Common warlock.
Yeah, they have magic or the school of magic or whatever. And magic, is a fine tool when used properly. But I've heard stories of chiropractors who are on the warlock spectrum of the magic user sphere, where they're like, they know enough to make someone feel better, but they also know enough to not make them feel better forever.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Have you not heard about this?
Okay, that's evil.
That's fairly common.
It's fairly common in chiropractic practice.
Apparently, there was a whole generation that went through the schooling system, like, medical school for chiropractic or whatever. I don't think you're technically a doctor, but...
You have to go to, like, Nanking or something.
Yeah.
So I went to an acupuncturist once, and he just had nothing but diplomas from China.
Anyway... Apparently there was like a whole generation that went through that sort of fell into that school.
Yeah.
So it was more, they were more in it for the money, not for the love of the game.
Yeah. The first chiropractor I went to had me on that. You need to be in here 4 times a week, and he'd come in and touch my back. Now this guy I go to, he's like, just come in when you have pain.
Yeah.
So I'm a centrist on this, which you would appreciate.
Yeah.
I think chiropractic is definitely necessary. I think it's one of the best forms of medicine, but just going in for routine maintenance feels weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't have anything going on. I'm strong. I'm not having pain.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I agree. If you don't have an issue, it's like with anything. Like, I mean, maybe you should go to a doctor once a year to have a checkup, right? Maybe every 6 months.
Yeah.
And maybe you should do that with your chiropractor, but like you shouldn't have to go to any medical professional consistently if you're taking care of yourself in the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Unless you have some sort of chronic disease.
Yeah.
Right. That was my thought too. My friend was making the argument, no, it's a routine care. And I'm wondering, would the Amish been doing this for thousands of years? I know they're only about 200 years.
Yeah. When the first Chinese junk boats sailed across North America into the North American seas. Deposited.
No, I don't think chiropractic is an Eastern medical practice. Is it?
I don't think so. Yeah,
I think it's probably
Josh.
It seems Western to me.
Yeah,
just in its.
What's the origin?
Especially based on the people who are chiropractors. I feel like the dentist chiropractor Venn diagram is pretty strong.
Honestly, it is. Like they got the same similar personalities because acupuncturists have a personality.
Oh yeah, the guy I went to see, he was wild. He was wild. He looked like Gavin Newsom. He was like, he's got that like California attractive thing, he talked really quiet. Acupuncture was wild. Yeah, I'll admit, live on air. Yes, I had an acupuncture appointment once.
Yeah, How do you feel about that? Is that do you need routine acupuncture?
I went in on the recommendation.
Did the needles have little dragons carved of jade?
No, so I went in per the recommendation of my physical therapist, and that's the only reason I went. Is because my physical therapist said you should go to acupuncture, which is, she was like the kind of physical therapist who had like, vagina books on her wall, like this sort of thing where she's like, I'm all about feminine energy. And she was like, I don't know why I'm servicing, this guy, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get better. But she was like, go to the acupuncturist, because I had gallbladder issues, which eventually I had to get the gallbladder out, and it was a whole other thing. But went to the acupuncturist, and you walk in, and they ask you, this is the thing, this is why alternative medicine always wins with, people who go in for it. And this is the same for like, what's it called? The homeopathy and all these other ones. They sit down and they ask you like countless questions about what you eat, what's your routine like, all of these things. If you go to a regular doctor, they'll ask you 3 questions maybe, and then they'll say you don't have your symptoms, those aren't real, and then you just get up and you leave.
That's the magical thinking.
Yeah. And so so you sit down and he asks countless questions, and he's like, okay, so sounds like you have problems with your gallbladder. I'm going to, just so you know, a vast majority of the meridians that access your gallbladder are actually located primarily in your feet. So we're going to just be putting a bunch of needles in your feet, if that's okay. And I was like, all right, sure. And so you lay down, and then they put like...
I mean, at this point, you're probably like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I've come this far.
Well, yeah. Well, you got to try everything once, right? Or in my case, twice.
Yeah.
But
I tried that with meth, but kind of stuck.
Yeah,
stuck with me.
So you lay down, and then they put on like Enya or whatever. Like they have a boombox, and they just hit play on new age, flute music or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you just lay there, and he takes out just a bag of sterilized needles, and they have like this machine that pokes him into you. So he just kind of pokes all these locations. And then
he's not even doing the poking?
No, he's doing the poking.
Oh.
Yeah,
he's got a machine?
He's got a machine. It's like
a gun?
That's like when the chiropractors use that gun. Like, you're going to be outsourced soon.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'm going to go to the vending machine where I step into it. They do my chiropractic
It's more like one of those things that you get so you can throw a clay pigeon farther. Like a little piece of plastic. Yeah, you understand.
Those are great.
Yeah,
so they just throw it across the room into your feet.
Yeah, that's
like a dartboard.
What they were doing in China was getting ninja training. Excuse me, Japan is where you would get trained to be a ninja. I'm not insensitive. But it's like a little thing. They flick their wrist and it sticks a needle in you, right? And so he like hits all the locations, and of course then he like starts poking them, and he's like, "Do any of these hurt?" And you're like, "Well, like a couple of them do." He's like, "Okay, I'll move them." Right? It's just kind of guesswork. He's just like, "Whatever, just." I think that's where the meridians are. And at one point, he just hit one square on a nerve, and I was like, "I'm not going to say anything." and then he comes back with a machine. It looks like one of those little guys that like home inspectors use to check if there's homeowner things. Home inspectors use to check if there's like a live wire. It's a little box, right? And he hooks it to like 6 of the needles, and he's like, "This is an electronic wave emanator. It's gonna feel like someone's hitting you with a ball peen hammer." I'm like, what? He's like, "Imagine that someone's hitting you with a hammer, and we're gonna start small, and then you need to go to where you can bear it."
Whoa!
So I'm like, all right, and I'm like, I ain't no bitch, like.
You turned on fish mode, no pain.
Yeah. It like literally feels like someone's just smacking you on the needle, and then of course
because you got one in your nerve,
and I had one in my nerve. So it's just like So I'm sitting there, and it's like, who can say where the road goes? Just playing over the speaker, and I'm just staring at the ceiling. Ended up taking a nap. That was nice.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow,
did you survive longer than any other victim?
Yeah. I actually walked out, and in the entryway there was a closet they conspicuously just kept closing, and a hand fell out of it at one point. But
and then as you walked out the front door, a guy walked up to you and said, "What? Why were you in there?" And you're like, "It's the acupuncture place." He's like, "They haven't done acupuncture there for 40 years." Whoa!
Yeah.
Josh, get us the info. What's going on with chiropractic?
Yeah. So it was founded in 1895 by D.D. Palmer in Davenport, Iowa.
Iowa, baby.
It was. The Amish got it immediately.
Okay, but what were they doing to backs before chiropractic? Like, that has to be a specific technique.
Yeah.
They didn't just discover the back and that it could be cracked, right? There had to be something prior.
I mean, obviously they were doing something with backs. I don't know what,
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine whatever that school of, back crackery was specifically invented at that time. But
I go to this doctor, also a fake doctor.
Yeah.
I don't really only go to fake doctors, actually. And he puts, you see like that white part on your finger there?
Yeah.
That's apparently the meridian, and he puts this little thing. It doesn't hurt. He doesn't torture me.
Yeah.
And it puts up a number on the screen, and it says how far off your meridian is.
Wow.
By some percent. And then he gives you something.
Is this like you're going into Scientology, they're scanning you for fade-ins?
Well, it's your vibrational signals, and they try to get them back on track.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're
That's
a
impressive.
moderate on the chiropractic question?
Yeah,
only
yeah.
in pain?
Yeah.
And what are you?
I've never been to a chiropractor, so I don't have an opinion. Yeah.
There is no other person in the world who's gone to acupuncture before they went to a chiropractor.
Usually that's what they try.
Yeah.
Well, I heard once that one of your meridian is in your eye. So you know that gland, right? Like in the corner where you get like little crusties sometimes when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in there that they stick a needle into. And after I heard that, I was like,
that's awesome. Actually, I'm more pro that now.
Patty just had pink eye. She probably just needed to get stabbed in there.
You just got to do it from your home, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he guessed where the meridians were, and he was an expert. Right?
Well, there is actually, I think, like a real. there's a real beauty to it, and like I did feel refreshed afterwards, and the reason was because I was in a dark room for 35 minutes and napping, and they were playing music, and afterwards I was like, wow, I feel like things have just kind of
you know what this is gonna be like the most first world thing, because I guess this is part of this area, but I got a massage when like right after things started to open up again in Hillsdale for COVID, and they were just bringing people back in. Been a stressful couple of months, so I was like, I'll get a massage. And I went in and had that, and it was awesome. It was great. It was a darker room with music playing and everything. Well, and then I went to Mexico recently. We had a massage there, and it was on the beach, and I did not feel nearly as relaxed.
Yeah.
Not at all. I was thinking about what was going on. I heard voices in the background.
Yeah.
I don't really. This is fine. You know, I'm feeling my muscles feel relaxed, but I feel just as know. And also, I was naked. And and I kept being nervous because there was a wind blowing, boys. I was nervous the blanket was gonna.
In Mexico, you were naked?
Yes,
on a beach.
So what they do is, I was in a resort. You go to the spa, and they're like, would you like to have your massage in a room? In the spa, or would you like to have it on the beach? And I was like, well, I ain't no bitch. I'm gonna do it on the beach, right? Like, we're in Mexico. Let's do it. So they're like, okay, well, you have to be naked. You have to be naked for the massage.
And you were like,
and then like enough where they're like, if you're not, they're like, come on. They literally are like, come on, don't be a bitch. Take your eyebrow. You know, like they'll say that. And so it was like, okay. And so my dad and I, we go into the locker room, and then, my wife wouldn't do it, and so they were like, okay, fine. You don't have to get naked, and we walked through the whole resort to get to the beach wearing bathrobes.
Nice.
So we're bathrobed up, walking
like a king.
Yeah, like a king. And there's there's elevated bungalows. So like you walk up a set of stairs. There's 3 bungalow areas you can get your massages on, and inside of everybody, the whole beach. And what they do is that they just sort of like hold up a blanket, and you have to disrobe and get onto the bed, and then they put a blanket over you.
Nice.
As they look away, as they try to protect you from the world. And then
so they don't actually massage your ass.
No, well, close to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always a fine line.
Yeah. It's a
meridian.
Yeah.
The ass end and the back.
Yeah, there you go. So where the tailbone is.
Yeah.
And again, the whole time I was just stressed that because every once in a while that blanket would just go, and then.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Someone's like, "Oh no, his butt."
Well, I had to flip over.
Oh.
So
they massage your front side?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. I know, sus.
About that.
Yeah, Josh is like.
So the relaxation comes from the dark room. Is the whole
a lot
massage?
of it's atmosphere, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Is the whole massage a psyop then? I mean, when was the last time an American just spent 30 minutes alone in a dark room, not sleeping, smoking pot, or watching Netflix?
Yeah.
Maybe if you just go lie down in a dark room, you're like, whoa, that was...
Yeah, I mean, you play some whale noises and just vibe.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, honestly, it would do a lot of good for me.
I think that's called praying or maybe meditation. We just discovered it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just came right back around to it. But I mean, like,
Speaking of whale noises, though.
Yeah.
We got to actually probably get.
Yeah, we got to actually talk about
whales too. Yeah. What's your whale?
Oh, it's chiropractor adjacent.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of mewing?
Okay, I've heard about it. I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
All right, hit us with the mewing, dude.
Dr. John Mew, this guy's like 90 or dead.
Yeah.
Look it up.
A South London doctor, I think it's maybe London dentistry or something. He went through the orthodontics track. Orthodontics?
Yeah. Orthodontry or something like that.
Orthodontry, yeah. Got into the profession and just got orthodontist pilled. And he said the whole thing's fake. The surgeries, the braces, we don't need it. Humans don't need it.
Yeah.
And so he said almost all, what is it called when your teeth are out of alignment? Micro.
Why are you acting like I am?
Yeah. Like
I don't know.
I'm not orthodontic pill.
You are?
No,
oh,
I'm
okay.
not. Yeah.
Well,
Not yet.
prepare.
Yeah.
Get ready, dude.
So
You're talking to two boys who had braces.
I had
for many years.
braces,
Yeah.
and I still got a gap in there.
Yeah.
So
He's going mute.
I know. Okay, so
Is this man dead, by the way?
He was born in 1928, so probably.
1928, probably dead.
no, okay, because he's mewing. He's getting close to eternal life.
Yeah.
if you have regular checkups at the chiropractor and you mew, you're living forever.
Yeah.
So he said the whole thing's fake, the whole system. It's like big pharma now, right? We don't need it. It's a scam. All you need to do is put your tongue and force it into the top of your mouth.
Dude, okay, I do this because I have jaw pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know it was mewing, but I do this.
It's called mewing. So he says the standard American diet has made it so that your palate.
What does he know? He's a Londoner, dude.
That's
What does he know about
that's
the
true.
American
The standard
diet?
British diet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
weird.
beans and bacon,
Yeah, that's not that soft.
bangers and or mash.
Yeah, no, it's too. I think it's just too soft. A
Yeah.
carb-rich diet just too soft.
Yeah.
So he said pretty much that's caused our jaws to be small. I always had this intuition as a child. There's no way we just have wisdom teeth and that we just can't fit them in. And God was like, oh, damn it, that's too many. They'll figure it out. It's good. So I've always thought that, but I just came across this on health Twitter. That's you got to get on health Twitter if you're not. You got to get on seed oil disrespect.
I mean, I don't need to. I know these guys in real life. I don't need to go on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said, so you push it into the top of your mouth and it opens up your nasal passages. I've been doing this at night and it actually, I don't know if it does anything for the jawline, but it definitely helps breathing. So you force it up there.
I heard about this through a podcast that wasn't Joe Rogan, but apparently there was a guy on Joe Rogan who his whole thing was that we're not breathing correctly.
That's it.
And if we have to close our mouths at night and force ourselves to breathe through our nose, and our quality of life will increase because our nasal passages will grow.
Yeah.
Right. So it's probably adjacent.
No, it
Whatever
definitely is.
Science is involved is
right. It's labeled pseudoscientific, so that's the reason I went to it.
Yeah.
And there's sort of two different schools. One that
Multiple mewing schools.
Mewing schools.
As it were.
Yeah.
They're pretty much all agreed. This is excellent for the nasal passages. If you sleep or just breathe with your mouth, with your tongue on the bottom of your mouth, you're restricting your nasal passages. They pretty much all agree about that. But the one school says it corrects your jawline and actually prevents the neck
it gives
beard.
you Chad jaw.
Yeah, it gives you. Oh, and did you see the jaw of John Mew? This dude has a square face, and now his son. So his father was an orthodontist too, and now his son is part of the school he founded called Orthotropics.
Yeah,
and it's all about corrective medicine, basically lifestyle living for the mouth.
Yeah.
So he says children can expand the size of their jaw, and then the teeth find room to fit.
Wow!
Look at that chin, dude. Oh.
That's actually kind of grotesque.
It is so. It is almost bestial how manly that is.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, look it up, dude. Look up Dr.
And
Mew.
if you go on his website, they show the before and after for the kids. So the kids are like this, and then a year after mewing, they somehow have also been bench pressing. They're just massive, and the jaw comes out, and apparently they don't need braces. But the braces industry, because they're what do you call it? Warlocking?
Yeah, they're like warlocks.
They're warlocks.
Yeah,
they want to keep their system going, so they don't tell you, man, all you got to do, man, is stick that tongue up. But I did it last week, so I started. I had the worst jaw pain. I just migraine through the whole head.
While you were mewing.
While I was mewing, because I was trying to mew all day. And if you're really forcing it up there, you realize I've never used these muscles at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just caused massive pain. Now, it seems fine. But...
All right, so this is probably all of you forums have probably answered this question, but just inquisitive mind here wants to know. So, what from a history perspective, right? Because he's saying the diet is to blame for this, right? And
primarily,
partially it's the pharma and everything that's going on from financials, right? What were we doing previously that was incentivizing us to move our jaws and our tongue in such a way that would cause mewing.
Yeah.
Right. Cause this process.
Probably
it seems
probably
unnatural.
kissing more, right?
Yeah.
Constantly making out. You know, the Savage Man was just an erotic machine.
Yeah. That's what
24/7.
BAP is all about. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
And then the deer just comes up. He's like, slaughter me so that you can enjoy your love fest.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it is.
To keep going.
Yeah. There's a great thread that I think one of the mewing accounts on Health Twitter posted.
Yeah.
And it's a study from like the early 20th century, back when the West was still like doing cool colonial stuff. Before we really, and they do studies of London, Munich, St. Petersburg, the children there that are eating a Western diet under communism, liberalism, whatever. And then they go to these colonial nations that are eating primarily meat and like hard root vegetables.
Yeah.
And then they don't even cook them that much. They chew them raw often, and they chew all day when they work sometimes.
That's true. That's common.
And the meat is extremely tough because our meat is farmed to be very soft, and also because we eat primarily muscle and fat, right? We're not actually eating organs and tough meats.
The sweet meats.
The sweet meats, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as nutrient dense.
Yeah.
But so they do this comparative study, and all these, it could be propaganda because you could just pick 4 kids that are like eating Skittles for the past 8 years and have never met a toothbrush. But they show these kids in contrast with these indigenous backwards people, and they have just beautiful, perfect
I
teeth.
thought I was under the impression that was, I mean, I've heard it be more of like it's the sugar density, like in our diets, right? Especially orthodontically, right? Where, especially
we're making up all these words.
If you look at the average British person in the 19th century, right? They're black toothed and rough looking in comparison to, you look at modern Kenyans, right? Kenyans specifically, and Nigerians too, just like
beautiful teeth.
Crazy good teeth.
Yeah.
Right? But if I'm not mistaken, I mean, a good example of this is like Ethiopia too is like this. Very stew heavy diets in that region. So I'm curious how that would translate.
Yeah, when we don't make stew in a Dutch oven or something like that, you get, if you use a shoulder, you get to have really tough meat, and you're going to be eating the soup for 45 minutes sometime just to get a bowl down. I mean, if you're using carrots and celery raw, not like the prepared baby carrots, but hard
man
carrots from a farmer's market. You're could be chewing there for a long time. Plus, I just think chewing throughout the day, chewing gums from trees and stuff is pretty big.
That's how I cured. So I'm a very stressed out guy. And I hold all of my tension muscularly, and for a while I was doing it with my jaw. I was working in live radio, which is a really intense, job. Start chewing gum. Just like keeping the jaw working, and cured it.
People are big into that. I think other than the diet, though. The other thing is just activity throughout the day. So if you're standing upright throughout the day and working, you're gonna just be nose breathing by the very strenuousness of the job. Where if you're slouching on a couch, you don't really have a very high oxygen demand. So mouth breathing actually works pretty well for that. So I think it's both lifestyle and diet. But also, the weird thing is, the people I was reading about aren't into the whole sugar causes tooth decay thing.
Really?
Which is a whole new thing.
Well, because I remember, and this is weird that I heard it from art history, but we were talking about some of the... I was in art history class, and it's this famous painting, I forget, it's like Norwegian or something, of the tooth puller, right, is the painting, and it's this guy in the town square who's pulling the tooth out of another dude. He's this, big fat guy who's getting his tooth pulled out, and everybody's laughing at him. And, the explanation for it is like, this is about the transition of, sugar from foreign lands being brought into Europe, and, the necessity of dental care that wasn't there before. Stop looking at my guest, dude.
Sorry, the dog.
The dog is just going for it.
Well, how does this relate, though, to, like, the barber as a discipline? Because barbers famously used to be town dentists as well. Surgeons. They were barber, surgeon.
Oh,
the
right.
Barber surgeon as like as an enterprise. It'd be.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, it'd be one guy, and it would usually not be somebody who lived in a town. It's actually somebody who would travel around, and then he would come to a town and he'd say, "Hey, you guys need a tooth? Your tooth pulled? You guys need a haircut? You guys need a little bit of surgery done? I've got cutting tools. You know, there's that scene in True Grit. Have you seen the Coen Brothers one?
No,
where there's
I don't
this
think so.
trapper who finds a dead guy, and he buys a dead guy off of the protagonist. He just buys him, and
You can buy dead guys?
yeah, and he's like,
finds a dead guy.
he finds a dead guy and he buys him off him, and then just rips all his teeth out and sells the corpse to somebody else. You know, and then,
Oh,
I mean, it's
that reminds me of that Malcolm in the Middle where Dewey orders all those frozen legs. Seen that one? It's like his dad's like, no, it'll never happen. He's just like, I'm gonna buy some frozen legs. Chopped off. Barber did it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, it is interesting. Yeah, I've never delved into this world of
Yeah.
house Twitter and the like.
So I guess the claim would be that it's the density of the food and
Yeah.
the way that we breathe more so than the sugar. Also, all we eat is beet sugar mostly anymore.
Yeah.
We don't really eat cane
Yeah.
sugar or fruit sugar as much. So, yeah.
And the fruit sugar that we have is not as dense nutritionally
Right.
as it used to be, and
Oh, that's
all this stuff.
should we get into the topsoil?
Yeah.
that's the other big
I don't know if
problem.
we'd have time. What are we at?
We're at half an hour here, so 50 minutes.
About 50 minutes.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the topsoil. I mean, we're ruining the topsoil.
Yeah.
We
We gotta, before the episode ends, we gotta do our Patreon stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we have completely forgotten about that.
I'm
So
sorry.
am I a part?
We'll put it in the
we'll-
Patreon.
Yeah, we'll continue this conversation about topsoil on the Patreon. So first and foremost, want to shout out our lieutenants, which are Joe Papalardo and Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Thanks for the lieutenant status.
Right.
And we do a lot of stuff for our patrons. Mostly, you guys can give us questions that we'll answer on the show. And so we're going to close out the show today. And we've got bonus content, an additional half hour after this show.
Yeah.
At the $5 level, if you guys want to put forward that. And you guys are making it possible, and we're really happy
Very
to see that
thankful.
there's been some interest so
Yeah.
far. We record these pretty far in advance, so if you see this and you have donated a certain level and you don't see your name or anything like that, that's just because of the way that things are going. But anyway, we really enjoy the fact that we get to do this every week and have one heck of a time. It's a ton of fun. And so this brings us to the questions that were asked by our top tier. I'm going to start with the question from Mom and Dad. And this is in regards to our first two episodes. I would like to ask a question about the bouncing DVD logo that was on the TV. Why? Is the question.
Oh.
Yes, from Mom and Dad.
We needed
I
something-
understand they found it very distracting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, let's hope that the spinning seal is more to your liking.
We doubled down.
We doubled down on there being something. We needed something on the background, and I thought it would be actually not very distracting.
Yeah, that was the thing, is that we saw all the stuff that was like really visually
Yeah.
explosive, and it was like, this DVD. Well, it's not.
Plus, it's hilarious, and you
Yes.
gotta sit there and wonder if it's gonna hit the corner the entire time.
Oh, it's that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering if it was that one. I was like, there's no way. You guys got this sort of stuff? There's no way you did a DVD logo.
Well, we thought somebody saw it and thought that it was just my TV
was off.
was off, and there was a DVD player on it that was bouncing around. But no,
Yeah.
actively looked that up and put it on the TV.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next question is from Joe Papalardo. First and foremost, this is a quick one. If enough people subscribe, will there be merch to the podcast? Yes.
There is a plan.
There's a plan, hopefully. If we get to a certain
Yeah.
level, we don't really have a concrete idea what that would be, but we would really like to provide some merch for you guys if you're interested in buying it. And a final question from Joe Papalardo. Who is a better kisser, Dylan or Shad? I'm going to defer this to Paladino.
Ooh. Well, I mean, Dylan got married earlier, so I think that was pretty much a slam dunk.
I got better game. I got better game.
You live with a man, and he
also-
throws you under the bus.
Also, this is not
Sorry.
a full. I'm not trying to condemn anybody, but somebody, the two of us had less girlfriends, so maybe one of us was a more impressive.
Oh,
kisser,
so
and
it
was
was
able
the
to lock it
kissing
down.
that delayed the marriage.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I don't think that's how that
Lock it
works. Whatever.
down. All I'm saying is it's a possibility. Could be the case. So, that being said, there's no concrete way to test this.
Well, I'm saying that there is one concrete way to test this, Josh.
Yeah.
Between now and the Patreon, we will have the kiss off.
Ooh, okay. Actually, you have kissed me on the cheek at some point. I don't know why.
He was giving cut it.